This podcast may contain explicit language, mature topics, and possible spoilers. Listener discretion is advised.
Caligari, Frankenstein, King Kong, and now, Phantom of the Paradise. He was maimed and framed, beaten, robbed, and mutilated. But they couldn't keep him from the woman he loved. From 20th Century Fox, the most highly acclaimed horror fantasy of our time, Phantom of the Paradise, rated PG.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Recall Podcast. I'm your host, the Vern. We're continuing our DePalma December month, talking about the films of Brian DePalma, and today's episode we are going to be discussing the 1974 musical rock opera-ish in a way, Brian DePalma's Phantom of the Paradise. And joining me for this episode, we have Lydia and Naomi and producer Jen from the Shocked Applaud podcast. Welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
This is wonderful.
So, kind of tell each of your voices out there so people don't get people confused. So, go ahead, Lydia. Say your name and...
Hey, this is Lydia with Shocked Applaud.
This is Naomi, the co-host of Shocked Applaud.
This is Jen, your audio engineer and producer.
Yes, and they have decided to join me the first time ever on Cinema Recall to talk about a movie that they already covered on their podcast episode, and I'm very thankful and happy that they want to talk to me about this movie that is kind of like a love-hate relationship with you. Because I listened to your episode, and I can tell that you had a lot of issues with the movie, but yet you kind of enjoyed it as well. Like kind of a thing you hate to love or love to hate. But just tell our listeners out there a little bit more about Shocked Applaud.
Well, Lydia was the one who brought up the movie to us from a podcast that she listens to. Oh, sorry, a YouTube channel that she listens to.
Yeah, a couple of YouTubers that I watch brought it up, and I was like, this is weird. We could do this on our podcast.
And I'd never heard it before. I'd never heard of it before. I pulled it up and watched the trailer with our fax guy, Sean, and I was like, what are we doing this month? And then every time someone's asked me to describe it since, I'm like, that's a movie I've seen. And in terms of Shocked and Applaud, our whole shtick is like, there's some really fantastic things and there's some really deplorable things about this movie, and we're going to talk about them all.
What I love the best about Shocked and Applaud is that you don't give just one episode to a movie. Like, a movie doesn't just get one episode. You will have like 3 parts, maybe sometimes 4 parts to a movie, and you really do like a deep dive into them. Like, I'm really kind of amazed by all the facts that go on with a movie. I loved your Night of the Living Dead series when you covered that, and you talked about the different stages of Barbara.
Oh, yeah, Barbara's a mess. Barbara might be a trash person, but at least she evolves.
Yeah, I know. It's like I almost want to take that portion of you talking about the 5 stages of Barbara and like put it to a video or something like that.
As long as it culminates with her getting slapped in the face, I am perfectly fine with that.
Oh, yeah. Very much so. But before we get into our kind of thoughts about Phantom of the Paradise, since we're covering the movies of Brian DePalma, what are your thoughts about Brian DePalma? I'll start with you, Naomi. What's your thoughts on Brian DePalma and his movies?
Here's the thing, the Vern. I am terrible with names, and the other half of my brain happens to be my audio engineer, so I'm going to need her to list some Brian DePalma stuff for me to give you a quick take on.
Nicolas Cage in Snake Eyes, Carrie.
The new Carrie or the old Carrie?
The old Carrie.
Okay.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. You do Goodfellas.
I'm going to say that overall I feel like I can appreciate his films even if he's not my exact thing. I think anybody who takes on, especially a Stephen King film, gets a certain amount of respect from me, but also if you ever end up listening to our Pet Sematary episode, I've yelled about this in so many echoey voices. Taking on King's work is a really hard job, and I think maybe The Shining came the closest to it. but you're communicating work that's really hard to do. And so if DePalma's the kind of guy who is willing to do that, and it appears to be the case, especially if he's working with Nicolas Cage and Phantom of the Paradise, like he's willing to stick his hand in the fire a bit, and I can appreciate that overall.
I can almost see Nicolas Cage playing Winslow in like a remake of Phantom of the Paradise.
You should see the face of Lydia right now.
I almost picture that right there. But other De Palma features you may know, of course, is like maybe Blowout, Scarface, The Untouchables, Mission Impossible, Bonfire of the Vanities. Yeah, he has just kind of a whole. He's covered like different mini movies. So really quick plot description. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but Phantom of the Paradise is about this singer-songwriter whom I believe these ladies called a Muppet on their episodes. We have Winslow, and he's trying to create the best rock opera about Faust. And then you have Swan, played by Paul Williams. Winslow is played by William Finley. We'll get into the cast a little bit later there. But you have Swan, who's like this record producer, and he sees Swan and likes his music so much that he decides to steal it, keep it for himself. Winslow gets arrested trying to break into his office. He gets his face destroyed, and he becomes the Phantom of the Paradise. And the Phantom's main interest is this girl named Phoenix, played by Jessica Harper, who for some reason is the only girl that can ever sing these songs. And she's not bad. I mean, I've heard worse singers before, but she's not like the bring all best singer ever. And so basically, the Phantom wants to find ways to destroy the theater, but then Swan's like, hey, you know what? I will get you your play to be performed, and I will get the star that you want. And then he gets double screwed. I kind of like to call the Phantom of the Paradise Cold the movie, because this guy's Winslow has a girl taken away, but yeah, he still pines for her, still wants her, likes to watch both Swan and Phoenix in bed. And just for, I've heard your episodes before, but I'm going to start with you, Lydia. Give me your just general thoughts of Phantom of the Paradise.
I probably have to go ahead and say it's this modge podge of older stories put into a 1970s framework, because it feels like it's a nice distillation. It's a nice distillation of the 70s in a movie, between like the music and the costumery.
Costuming?
What is
Costuming?
Costuming. There we go. That's the correct word. So it's this modge podge, because they pull from Faust, they pull from Phantom of the Opera, they pull from the picture of Dorian Gray. So it's just kind of like, we're going to pull from all these different sources, and we're going to kind of update the material so that way it's interesting to the youngsters. So.
Now, did this movie come out before Rocky Horror Picture Show or after?
It did. It did indeed come out before Rocky. It came out before Kiss. It came out before the Phantom of the Opera.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
It inspired Daft Punk and their robot head costumes.
Looking at the Phantom's mask right there, I can totally see that. Because there's the image of him at the very end, like, playing the piano. I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, that could be the robot head playing the synthesizers and everything. So I never thought about that.
And his voice coming out of the box, it's very robotic.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be one of the greatest scenes of all time, when dude is adjusting his audio. If you watch the movie with subtitles on, which we did like the second time that we watched it. Hold on, listen to me turning my notes. Okay. So what happened was, in the subtitles, because dude was talking under the Phantom, like getting his voice back.
Yeah.
when he would speak, it would be like hashtag the words he was saying. So it said things like hashtag filters, hashtag Dolby's, hashtag perfect. And then like his voice gets adjusted so that when at least he's singing, it sounds exactly like it should. And it's actually the voice of the guy who's adjusting it. What's his face?
Paul Williams.
So it ggets adjusted to Paul Williams' actual voice, and when it finally hits that pitch, the subtitles say hashtag perfect.
Do you remember how he says Phoenix's name in this scene?
When he's not singing, his voice is all jacked to crack, and so. If you've watched this film, you have to. I mean, please, the Vern, do it again. Do his voice.
Phoenix!
Yes! I love Phoenix! It's the best because it's tragic.
I will say this, though. When I first watched the movie, not knowing exactly the name, I thought he was saying penis. Penis! Then I realized that, he's saying the girl's name Phoenix right there. Yeah. Now, I like Jessica Harper. I liked her very much in Suspiria. And that's the only movie I've really seen her in. I know she was in Stardust Memories, but I don't really remember that movie that much because I'm not really a fan of that movie. And so I'm watching her in this movie, and I recognize the face of Jessica Harper, and I get that she's a good actress. I won't give her any leeway with this. She's not a bad person. But I just never really understood why Winslow is so into this girl. Because Winslow, at the beginning of the movie, he's kind of a psychopath. I'm going to say that right there. You may disagree or agree with me on that, but...
I think she is phenomenally mediocre.
Yes. That is a good word there. Phenomenal mediocre. Because at the beginning of this movie, and I should let listeners know this, that the beginning of the movie starts with this like 50s doo-wop group playing a song about their friend Johnny, and it's got like this like how do you call it? The titles of the movie. When you think about Phantom of the Paradise, you think of something like maybe more gothic titles, but these are like theatrical laden with like little light bulbs in the title.
Yeah.
So you have this movie about this phantom who's going to be invading this place and maybe causing some havoc, but it starts with this 50s doo-wop group.
Yeah, like the worst greasers you've ever seen, and
Greasers.
the greasers from Grease weren't that great. So like the fact that we've got now like and I'm pretty sure this came out before Grease.
Mm-hmm. It did, yes. 74.
Like, and the movies that got I don't know how to phrase this politely, so I won't. The movies that got crapped out later than this one that pull so many themes from it are just amazing, because I feel like if you could imagine it, all of these different writers and directors were all in the same theater, and they were all looking at this shepherd's pie of a movie, which is a brown goo covered by a delightful layer of potato. And they all came out with something different. One was like, oh, the peas were delightful. Oh, this ground meat was delicious. I'm only gonna take the mashed potatoes from it. I think the greasers from Grease might be the mashed potatoes of the shepherd's pie that is this movie.
Maybe so. And I like the concept of this movie very much about Winslow is a guy who has like probably the most perfect, heartfelt songs ever, but the studio, the man, the system won't listen to him at all. And he's just trying to find his way to have people hear his work because it's the best. And I think it was Swan's assistant / maybe co-producer, I'm not quite sure. He says, hey, maybe this band, who for the life of me, I cannot remember what they are called. I know they have
they're called the Juicy Fruits.
Juicy Fruits. That's what they are.
Lydia writes down all the names because it's terrible. They're all terrible. Everything that isn't the Phantom, arguably even Phoenix, It's terrible. In terms of his title, like, when they make it to being, like, the Surfer Boys, when they're the Beach Boys knockoff.
Yeah.
Like, they have a new, fantastic, terrible name.
I don't. Do they? Let me
Yeah.
Oh.
see. They probably do.
You told me before.
But you have Winslow getting contracted by Swan's assistant, saying that, hey, look, we can actually get the Juicy Fruits to play your big song, and you can be hit. And without even like thinking about it, Winslow just goes off the deep end and says, no one's gonna rate any songs. No one's gonna have sing my songs, especially not these losers or these washed out stars. And just he's going for blood.
He's got a 300-page thesis of Katana. Excuse me. I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah.
Katana. Cantata. Cantata. Jen got it. Okay. On Faust, which is the story about an artist making a deal with the devil. And so, like, he should see all of this coming from 10,000 miles away.
Yeah.
But he manages to not. But he's like, only Phoenix can sing it. We're going to whittle down my 300 pages to an album's worth. And then he signs off as if it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Like, twice.
That's true.
Go ahead,
Go
Vern.
ahead.
I rewatched it on Friday, and what was interesting is there's a lot of these little moments where you see, like, Winslow having to go through someone like Swan to get his music actually out there to the masses. He had to go ahead and then there are moments where you see these articles in the newspaper that were like changing the headlines and saying things like, disgraced, songwriter is, been dealt with by the police, but his body was never found. And there's all of these like moments where Swan has this obvious control in the police and the media. And I'm thinking, back in the 1970s, there really wasn't an avenue for self-production. But now it's like, well, if you want me to go ahead and do all of these things and I'm smart enough to actually like not go down that road, I can't always just put it on the internet and hope that people find me, which, I mean, you have a lot of creative forces that are kind of coming up and there's so many, it can be very easy to feel like you're just another voice in the crowd, so to speak. So, like to actually put your information out there, you would have to either have like some heavy financial backing from something, or you would have to have someone kind of like come in and be like, I'm going to talk about you and I'm going to promote you. So
and I like the fact too that in this world, Swan has been the only record producer like ever. In this world, he's the only person that brings out artists and songs. There are no other labels. It's just basically Death Note Records, Birdsong. Yeah, that's it. There's all this left there. So poor Winslow, he doesn't have the chance to go with any other producers or anyone else because in this world, it's just Swan, and that's it. That's all he really has to go for. And apparently he doesn't really care much about trying to find other singers because he just basically finds Phoenix and says, this is the girl that's going to sing my songs. I think he does that because she's probably the only girl that talks to him. Because I have a feeling that this guy is probably not really lucky with the ladies. I mean, he probably doesn't have much friends. And so the only girl that's ever nice to him is the girl.
Go ahead.
No, if I do that, the only girl that was ever nice to him is the girl that he says will sing a song, which I understand because, if a girl says hi to me, I'm like, oh, wow, you said hi to me? What? Whoa, wow. Nope. But yeah, I just find it to be kind of like a very odd, strange thing. There's probably other women out there who are probably better singers, and he picks her. So
what I found interesting in the rewatch is he's going through Swan's mansion as all of these other women are singing it. And none of them really seem to be singing it in the way that he likes. So I think there is a little bit of he sees himself reflected in Phoenix because he comes up to her as she's singing it. And he's just kind of like, I mean, he has all of these other, beautiful women that he could kind of like be checking out, but it's the one that like he thinks is singing his song. in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think in our original podcast, we had noted that he was like, no one will sing my music except for me. And then he just is like, oh, well, Pretty Woman. Yeah, I'll totally, let you sing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way, okay, so what it feels like is, I mean, I don't know who you hung out with in junior high, but I knew
me?
who I had.
Oh, I hung out with all like the theater kids, and I hung out with some of the See, in high school, I hung out with like different groups. I hung out with like the jockey kids. And I hung out with like the theater kids. And I hung out with the goth kids. You see, in my high school, each social group had a certain section of the locker rooms where they hung out at.
Yeah, it was like that with us for the tables, and that's where
See, it was tables for you. For us, it was like the locker rooms, because upstairs was all the jock kids, downstairs were theater kids, and then to the right, upstairs was all the like computer geeks, and downstairs was like the theater kids.
Yeah. We had a relatively smaller, apparently, high school. We hung out in the lunchroom. That's when we would mainly commune together.
Sure.
But so that's where me and Lydia started hanging out. But like in junior high, which was a different lunchroom, I hung out with a lot of the loner kids, which was funny for all the loner kids to like congregate to one table. And what happened was I got a handful of these kind of loner guys who would occasionally fixate on a girl. And I found it fascinating because I wasn't interested in anyone at the time, like singularly, because I was obsessed, as a teenage girl can be, with a general populace of men. But like these guys would become so fixated on one girl, and I'd be like, look, I know her personally. And they'd be like, you know her personally? Could you tell me details? And I'd be like, no, probably not. But like, I want to know why you find her particularly compelling. And they were just regular girls. There was no elitism there. It was just someone that they found something compelling about. And none of those have turned into a relationship. So this movie was not a surprise to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the fact that he finds her as he's walking up this spiral staircase and it becomes nothing to her, I'm like, yeah, she was on an audition for a job. Like, she wasn't thinking, she was like, oh, yeah, he's encouraging me and that's great. And she engages in that moment. But like the fruit that came of that was like barely a grape between the two of them. It was all about Swan.
So she didn't really care. I mean, I'm sure, like you said before, she saw Winslow there. It's like, oh, you're the writer of this? Well, that's cool. I'm going to see you as the writer of this production that I want to be a part of. Not like, hey, I'm going to fall in love with you because of this. Yeah.
You're exactly right, because in the last act she casts him aside as nothing.
Yeah.
She is, more than almost anyone else, a garbage person. And I'm sorry I keep using that phrase, but like her redeemable qualities are few for me.
I don't know if she doesn't really have anything to really kind of be sorry for. I know in like Swan's eyes when she goes off, in Winslow's eyes when she goes off with Swan, it's kind of like heartbreaking because he's in love with her and yet she's with another man. But she really didn't really do anything wrong, she just kind of chose the men that she wanted to sleep with, and if she wanted to sleep with Swan, it was her choice. Maybe he is the devil and he seduced her in the only way Paul Williams can seduce a lady, because I'm pretty sure back in the 70s Paul Williams was just getting a whole bunch of ladies. Because if I wrote the Rainbow Connection, that would be my in the 70s if I was hanging out at Club 54. Hey ladies, I wrote songs for the Muppet movie. That's right. And right away there, just pussy and cocaine and galore right there. I bet you that's all you had to say. Yes.
So would that be pussies, cocaine, and the Muppets?
Basically, I know, right? Yeah.
That would be, Lydia, that would be the Muppets, the pussy, cocaine.
And you said it too. That's beautiful. Yes. Well, I would actually, you know what? I asked Lydia her general thoughts about Phantom of the Paradise. Naomi, give me your just general thoughts about this movie, because I never really got your thoughts. Even though you kind of said stuff already. I have
so many pages of thoughts about this movie.
Not just so many thoughts here. I want you to give me just like 3 words that describe this movie.
Okay, I
3 words.
haven't listened to the entire lexicon of your podcast, but how many times have you asked the 3-word question and somebody's been like, "What the fuck?"
This is the first time I've ever asked the 3-word question because you said a whole piece of notes.
I can see why
maybe
you want
5
to limit me
words.
to 3 words, Vern, but my words are "what the fuck."
What the fuck? Okay. I love it. Okay. That's a good way to describe the movie because it does go to like different genres. You got, it's a rock opera. It is a musical. It's also kind of like a slapstick comedy. It's a horror slasher film in a way, even though
it is.
Yeah.
Tribute to Psycho, right in the middle of that business.
There's definitely a lot of like voyeurism. There's cuckold. I mentioned that before. There's bad scening. There's sometimes good scening. Yeah. We gotta do this right now because we're gonna talk about some of our most favorite or what the fuck moments. I gotta take a really quick break. I gotta play some ad spots, and then we'll be right back, alright?
Do it. Be about it.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What was it about the 90s that made movies so much better? How much of an impact did they make during that decade? And while we're at it, can we throw around some 90s slang? Join me, Jason Soto, a lover of all things 90s, as I do a deep dive into cinema from the best era ever. Rabbit Hole Podcasts present That's the Bomb, Yo! 90 hella rad movies from the 90s. You can find this show on Anchor, Apple, Google, anywhere you get podcasts from, or its home location at rabbitholepodcasts.com. And who knows, maybe even Alicia Silverstone will finally accept my date.
As if.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back here, Cinema Recall Podcast. Me, the Vern, talking, of course, with Naomi, Linda, and Jen from the Shocked Applaud podcast. Jen, I never got your thoughts about Phantom of the Paradise. What are your thoughts?
I remember coming out of the end and asking, how is this a Brian DePalma film?
It's got split screen. Oh, go on.
So different than, and he's got an eclectic taste, but this is so different than all of his other stuff.
Oh, very much so. I mean, you can see, like, a lot of stylistic choices between, like, Mission Impossible and The Untouchables, and even, like, Carrie, because Carrie and Sisters and this movie, they all use the split-screen technique. Because in this movie they try to do an homage to Touch of Evil, the Orson Welles movie where the Phantom puts a bomb in, like, the juicy fruits who've now become, like, the beach bums.
Yeah.
They're doing, like, this music video, and he puts a bomb into a car, so that's kind of like an homage to Touch of Evil. And he used the split screen technique with that. He's gotten much better with using split screen technique. Yeah, it's I would have to agree with you too, Jen. It's a very, very different De Palma feature because De Palma's known for doing, like, a lot of, like, thrillers and really, really a lot of, like, sexual thrillers. People have said that if Hitchcock was still alive, he would be making the type of movies that Brian De Palma made, because Brian De Palma is not afraid to shy away from, like, nudity and sex. I know we covered this in a previous episode that when after Hitchcock made the movie Frenzy, because that was the only R-rated movie he made, if he was able to do more R-rated movies, he would have made a movie called Body Double, which is kind of like Brian De Palma's homage to Rear Window, but featuring a lot of cocaine and porn stars. So,
yeah, and there is a lot of technical achievement in what Brian De Palma kind of tries to do. Like, there's a really long, steady shot in Snake Eyes that was probably the longest tracking shot at least at the time.
Oh yeah.
So there is a lot that he tries to do technically in each of his films, and you can kind of see that, especially like you said with the double tracking shots, and we kind of relayed that as sort of Swan trying to record everything around him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like what he's doing with this. Yeah, the sound technique that Swan's doing to try to change Winslow's voice, that sort of like sound editing was used much better in like Blowout. So I figure like Phantom of the Paradise is an earlier film. Brian De Palma is still learning his craft, and for like, I don't think this was his first movie, but I know it was like his very earlier movie. So like it's probably his second feature. And for a director doing a movie like this, I don't think he did all that bad. So,
yeah, I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I want to ask. I'm going to start with you this time, Naomi. I want you to tell our listeners a moment, not a moment you actually like or a moment you hate, but just a moment that sort of like was like your biggest what the fuck moment. You're like a moment that capitalizes this movie. In a nutshell.
Okay. I have yelled this okay. So the person who, I don't want to say salvaged the film, because here's the thing. Regardless of how I feel overall, this movie is engaging.
Okay.
And that's all I really desire for most pieces of work, hence Shocked Applaud. Like, am I horrified? Am I super excited? Like, I want to be involved emotionally, right?
Sure.
So you get pulled in right away with all of the visuals and the characters and all the music, and it's really compelling. But here's what made me say, I kind of dig it. And that is the character of Beef. At first I saw Beef and I was like, no thanks. No thanks, right? But then I was like, yes, please. And by the time he utters the words that I have screamed across my workshop floor for the past week now. By the time he says these iconic words, which are without a doubt the best line in the entire film, more than even Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time he says these lines, I am so won over by this, and I will fight you till the grave, because it's a Fox film that makes him a Disney princess.
Okay.
He is officially Disney princess. By the time Beef says, I know real from drug real, I was so sold on his leather pants, icon drawing on his shirt, like almost nearly Jerry Curl white boy self, that like I wait for him for the first half of the film. And then I watch the last part of the film just so I can get to the credits and watch him dance around again.
Oh, gosh. For listeners out there who don't know who Beef is, so in the movie, Swan has basically stolen Winslow's music, and he's trying to find someone to sing the song. Doesn't want Phoenix to sing the song, and there's like, he's at a desk that's shaped like a gold record, and he's finding different singers. You know, he has like a folk band sing the songs. Then he has like another like rock group sing the songs, and then the best one is where he has these two beautiful black women sing the song, which I think he should have chosen, but he doesn't. He goes with like this very much bad Meatloaf singer, this glam rock singer that doesn't sing good at all, with the spandex and everything. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like T-Rex, the singer T-Rex, but T-Rex is a much better singer, and he's just doing a bad singing job. But for some reason, Swan's like, fuck it, this is the guy that's going to be a star for my show. And so basically, Beef is now the person that's going to perform this musical for Swan's club. Forgot to mention that earlier. So Swan wants to open up this nightclub, and apparently this Beef guy is going to be the person to entertain his crowd right there. And he is just something to behold, folks. It's like everything 80s just threw up on this guy.
Which is funny because it's 1974.
But it's still, it's so 80s. Everything about this guy, it's like, I know this movie is 74, but it's like that embodiness of Beef is somehow influenced a bunch of metal bands. I'm sure it had to.
Yeah. He's flashy and he's cheap and he's easily manipulated, and that's what Swan needed. But that is also like the McDonald's hamburger of deliciousness that I find that beef to be. He's 100% grade pure beef.
Grade pure beef.
I mean, everything, like the antler pants. You remember now, huh? Yeah, because you don't write it down, but they're there and they're in your brain now, and you can't get rid of it, Vern.
No, I cannot. And just mainly the way he walks and the way he marches around there too. This is like I'm watching Dr. Ratso.
Oh, from Death Metalocalypse?
Metalocalypse, yes. I'm watching the precursor to Dr. Ratso.
Cocaine!
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So, good choice there. I guess he could be a Disney princess. I don't know. I guess because Disney did grab the rights to all Fox movies, maybe they'll feature Beef and another Wreck-It Ralph sequel, maybe? I don't know.
Instead of I'm gonna wreck it, he'd be like, I'm gonna snort it.
Yes. Love it. Linda, do you have a moment or character? Was it? Yeah?
It's Lydia.
Lydia. I said Linda. I'm sorry. Lydia. My apologies. Lydia, do you have a favorite character or moment of this movie?
I kind of have to agree with Naomi about Beef. He was my favorite character, but kind of go into one moment in the movie that kind of encapsulates the entire movie. I would have to say it's the homage to Psycho in the shower, where
the plunger.
Yeah. So okay. So he's what is it? So Winslow's been pretty much caged up and locked up, and then he goes Super Saiyan and breaks out of his cage, and that's when Beef is all like, "Oh no, I got to get out of here because that's there's some guy who's gonna come after me and he's gonna kill me, and I know it." And so he's told to kind of calm down by Philbin, and he takes a shower, and he's taking a shower, he's singing, and then you see this a shot of someone, we know it's Winslow, coming towards the shower, and he takes the knife and he slashes through the shower curtain, and then you think that the knife's going to be used on Beef, but they switch it, and instead he just puts a plunger on his mouth, and he's just gives him a warning, which my takeaway from it was just even Winslow doesn't want this guy dead, not at first.
Yeah, I know he wants to just get rid of the guy, but it's funny too, he doesn't want to kill him, but he has no problems putting a bomb in the other band's car, which I never quite understood. I mean, at least that other band, they can at least play the songs you want to play, maybe? I don't know, but yeah.
Well, you also have Swan. Swan takes Beef aside and is just do whatever you want to the music. And so Beef is taking the songs and like Lydia's, not this Lydia, but Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice's mom, who's just I must gut this out and make it my own. You know what I mean? He's doing that to the Phantom's work, and so I think that's why he finds so much fault with it. So
okay.
So I think he has a problem with Beef, but it's I don't know why he hates the Beach Bums more. Shouldn't he? I don't know. I don't know.
I think that you actually have, Winslow, who's really anal retentive as far as songs, and then you have Swan, who is just about the money, and I know he needs to find a band to open up this nightclub here, but whoever thought that a musical about Faust would be something to do, even if you change the lyrics around or you change the music around, it's not something that's gonna really want to open up a nightclub with. All right, I don't want to do if I open up a nightclub, I'm not gonna show The Handmaid's Tale there. I mean,
If you described Black Panther as Hamlet, but now with like superheroes, nobody would want to see it. So if you're like, it's Faust, but there's gonna be like guitars and shit.
there's gonna be guitars, and there's gonna be this guy who wears like this silver mask on there, and
But there's
then...
gonna be some feathery chicks with mercs on that look like pubic hair.
And there's gonna be other band members who are punched off the heads of other people.
I want microphone knife. Microphone knife.
Oh, well, I have a couple moments, and I want to talk about these moments just so I can understand it better. And that's why I'm glad to have everyone on the show here. Jen, Lydia, Naomi, talk about a couple of these moments to help me understand it, okay? So there is a moment that happens earlier in the movie when Swan is trying to... So basically, in the earlier part of the movie here, Swan's assistant or whatever takes Winslow's music and says, "Hey, look, I'm going to show this to Swan, and we'll get you paid, or we'll get this made into a song or something like that." And he doesn't hear from anyone for about 5 months. 5-6 months go by, and so Winslow goes to where like Swan is casting women to sing the show, and that's where he meets Phoenix. And then there's a moment where there's like this rotating bed of all these women just dressed half naked, and they're all just waiting there for Swan. And Winslow is there too. He's there to try to sell his script, to try to talk to Swan. So he's basically dressing in drag to meet up with Swan. And of all the ways to get to someone's attention, why that? Did you think that Swan would pick him out, not knowing that Winslow's a girl, take him back to his room, and that Winslow can maybe try and seduce him to buy his script? I don't know. And I found the whole thing just to be kind of confusing in a way. Because after that, after Swan does have him kicked out, then they find drugs on him. But he's wearing negligee stuff right there. How could he actually find a way to plant stuff in his body to get him framed? So I found the whole thing to be kind of weird. Help me out with this.
You question the efficacy? Efficacy?
Effectiveness?
Effectiveness. Yes.
Yes. You question the effectiveness of this plan of his? Overall?
No, he's also allowed for the bad plans too, but I'm like just thinking of all the things to try to do, why this? And the rotating bed with the woman on the bed, I get that's kind of a homage to Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and I get the director's choice of using that, but to put Winslow in there and kind of Drake or what out there just didn't make any kind of sense. So
absolutely, we all three of us have opinions about this, and
Okay.
they vary because of various different reasons and places where we are as people. Who wants to go first? Oh, Jen's in. Jen's go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Jen.
Oh, I just kept thinking. Well, the Benny Hill song kept going through my head during this time.
It's called Hacky Sax. No, it's a Sean fact. It's Hacky.
I don't remember.
Oh,
Yakety sax?
Yakety Sax, I think might be. You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
It's just shock comedy.
Okay.
Okay, so
Perfect.
me, like, because I grew up Kids in the Hall fan, because I grew up a Monty Python fan.
Sure.
I like it when I mean I don't mind it when a straight cis man dresses a woman to fill a role in a skit. Like,
Yeah.
say you've got a largely male company. Like, you're gonna have to fill feminine roles, and like you can bring in some women, and certainly Monty Python and Kids in the Hall both brought in women to fill roles, but on occasion, a lot of occasions, the majority of occasions, they would have a male cast member play a female role, and they would play that character, air quotes, straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would be a female in that role, and it wasn't like a poke at women. It wasn't a poke at like some sort of gay or gay coding thing.
No.
It was just they needed a female character, so they slapped a wig on Scott Thompson and like sent him out, and he did a great job, and I love him until I die. So when we have an entire bed full of female ladies who are just like, yeah, no, Swan, although he's a short, weird, icky guy, like, we're totally gonna like, and not that short and weird are bad, because Lord knows that's kind of my type, but like, sorry, Jen. I'm just joking. But like, they're all like, no, this is what they're basically saying is they're rolling around each other covered in like salmon velour. They're like, he expects us to bone, and it's all right because I've boned like several times for him, and it's never really been a thing, but I'm sure this time he'll pay attention to me, blah blah blah. And then like the door opens and he's like, "Hi, I'm Winslow," in the middle of all these ladies that he was not there before. Like, I watched the scene several times, and I was like, he's not there until he's like obnoxiously there, and then kicked out for being a pervert, and then drugs are planted on him, and then he gets beaten up and jailed and blah blah blah. I don't like it, and I don't think it's because I don't think it's because maybe it is because he's just so abruptly there, and he's just not. It feels non sequitur. It feels like just this kind of like, oh, you're like kind of warming up to this scene, and like, how is this going to break down? And then like this cold glass of water of Winslow is thrown on you, and like, you're like, duh, the guy with 5 o'clock shadow who doesn't fit his gown, who's like, hey, I happen to have a penis in this pile of ladies. It's like, that's not what we were going for right now. And who would have let you in? Who would have let you in, Winslow? Nobody.
Yeah.
It breaks the fantasy.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. That kind of put things more into perspective for me, and I do appreciate that.
Okay, wait. But Lydia, I'm sure, has an opinion that's not as long-winded as mine.
Okay, no, go ahead, Lydia.
I mean, outside of the fact that it's ultimately showing that Swan is hedonistic, because he has all of these, like, you know, babes who are using him for his status, and he's obviously using them for their bodies. I mean, the takeaway that I come away from it is Winslow's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It does make him look like an idiot.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he obviously didn't stop to think about the, the fact that this, big producer is interested in his work, and maybe he should have copywrote that, or maybe he should have gotten something in writing before he just went ahead and gave it away. But he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and follow Swan to his swanage.
Oh, that's right. It's called the Swanage, the Vern.
The Swanage, okay. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't, like, workshop his songs, because most singers, at least singers I know, if they ever have, like, stuff they're working on, they would go to, like, coffee shops, and they would workshop songs and maybe get a crowd of people to watch him, because I thought he had some good songs, and I'm sure if he played that stuff in a coffee shop, he probably would have found other people to take on his songs. He probably could have found a place to perform the whole Faust play in its entirety and get financing based on that, but he was seduced in because Swan's like the biggest producer thing in the world. It's like, in this world, Swan is almost like a politician in a way, because everything seems to rely on whether or not he finds an artist or not, or if he finds like a band. Like, nothing else in this world matters except for Swan open his nightclub. And I gotta respect how they do sort of like set the world for this, because even before the opening credits, you get the whole backstory of Swan and how Swan started all the latest trends in music, and that he's like the be-all, best-all of stuff. So in Winslow's defense, you can sort of see why he would be seduced by that power, because he wants everyone to hear his songs. And I know I'm going on a little tangent here, and I apologize, but yeah.
We love a tangent over here, so I'm glad about it. I myself, if like something like Disney wanted to sponsor me somehow, like first of all, we'd have to go to a lot of editing on the backlog. But like, if say my record was completely clean with language and wording and all of that, if somebody was like, hey girl, this is your first thing and we're going to offer you more money than you've ever seen before and all you have to do is walk forward without any thought, like, it's hard not to walk into that. But that's the whole freaking thing about Faust, is that you're offered everything you ever dreamed of and you don't realize that your soul is going to be ripped away and everything you actually care about is going to be this hollow facade that isn't going to fulfill you. And that's exactly what happens to Winslow.
But Winslow doesn't really get anything he wants to be. He doesn't get the girl. You know, he gets locked up into a room to record his songs. He gets promised a bunch of stuff. And I figured after Winslow gets fucked over the first time and doesn't have his songs be sold, and then Swan is gonna be like, hey, look, I'll let you record your songs and we can cast women you want. Before he signed anything with his blood, he should have like just thought back to a few days ago. He got sent to jail for several years, right?
Long enough to get his teeth knocked out and have to work in the Tiddlywinks factory.
Yeah, so he gets into jail, teeth knocked out, and yet he still signs a contract with Swan. And like during that moment there, I was thinking, what the fuck, Winslow? You just got put into jail. Your face is now destroyed because of this guy. Your voice is now destroyed because of Swan. You're gonna sign a contract with them because you may have the mere mention of Phoenix. Phoenix may be coming to shake your hand, much less Stroker Johnson, alright? You're doing this stuff for a girl that probably doesn't know who you are. I mean,
no, she doesn't care about him at all.
She knows he wrote the musical, and that's when you're an actor, it's always good to meet up with the writer and director of a project right there. But she's going into it for her own professional goal, not going into this for any type of romance. So when she does hook up with Swan, let's face it, she is kind of a gold digger, and she was doing it just for her own benefits right there. Yeah.
No, nobody in this movie is a good person.
I was trying to think of that too. No, I'm trying to think of who actually is.
It's Beef.
I think
Beef,
you're right.
I contend that Beef is the only good person because all he wants to do is get high and perform. Something that is true his own artistic self, and I support that 100%. 100% Beef for life.
I think you're right. Another moment I gotta bring up real quickly because when I rewatched it, I really kind of forgot how bad the song was. The moment's kind of weird itself too because Swan's in bed with Phoenix, and they are having the worst type of like seduction scene.
It's as sexy as like bologna smells. Tell me I'm wrong.
Like bologna sandwich with no condiments on the bread.
It's just white bread and a bologna, and you get a big old whiff of it, and you're like, oh, I mean, I'm sure it's edible, but I don't want any.
And then she has a song in there. Now, when Phoenix was having her first audition, and she's saying that sort of like country rock jam, I didn't mind that. I'll admit it, I was kind of tapping my toes to it a little bit. But when she starts singing her love song to whatever, the whole dramatic love song, I found that to be just very, very funny and hilarious. And I'm going to play a sample of it right now.
Do it!
in strange young eyes, familiar tears. We're all souls in a new life, baby. They gave us a new life to live and learn. Sometime to touch old friends and still return. Our paths have crossed and parted. This love affair was started long, long ago. This love survives the ages. In its story lies the pages. Fill them up.
Alone is not a home. Our love is a lone love. But I'm making up words here, folks, because I'm not going to know the actual correct lyrics for it.
This song includes the phrase, "We kiss hello." So go ahead and sing that for me, the Vern. Do we kiss?
Oh no, I'm actually gonna do one better here. But actually, before I'm gonna find that song real quickly here. But we never asked you this, Jen. Do you have like a moment of the movie that really just like popped out to you?
Oh, I just think it was horrible that the actor who played Winslow actually almost got his face smashed in that record caster machine.
It was a press.
Or what record press? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was a legit record press machine, and they had put a brick in the machine to catch it before it smashed his face. But here's the thing about a record press. They're really strong because they're pressing plastic into a very precise shape. So it smashed that brick to nothing, and his face almost died.
So when you see him pull out his face, that is actual fright as he's pulling out his face.
Wow. I did not know that. Well, damn, man.
I know, we just kind of turned this into a true crime episode.
So, here are the lyrics for the song that Phoenix character sings while she's in bed with Swan there.
Oh, that's a different song than the one I was thinking. Okay.
So, no. Our love is an old love baby. It's older than all our years. I have seen in strange young eyes familiar tears. We're old souls and a new life baby. They give us new life to live and learn. Some time to touch old friends and still return. Some time to touch old friends and still return. Okay. Oh, here. There's okay. Lots here. Our kiss with no tears. Oh yeah. The end line here. I'm not reading the whole thing, but I kiss when I must go. No tears in time. We kiss hello. We kiss hello.
It's just the worst, and it's not your delivery. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
This love survives in the ages, and its story lives in pages. What the wait? I'm just trying to break this stuff down here to understand. This love survives the ages, and its story lives our pages.
Mm-hmm.
Deep stuff. Deep.
Okay, so
Deep
like
stuff.
a million years ago, when you were like, didn't you refer to Winslow as a Muppet, right? I found the parts of my notes that describe him exactly, and how I originally described Winslow is Elton Garfunkel Muppet Jack Skellington. And that is exactly his lyricist style.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And because she's kind of, I don't know what kind of trash to define her as, but because she has the delivery of how it feels to step in water with your socks still on. Like, it gets given like that. Like a wet Muppet.
Wet Muppets. Yeah, I can totally agree with everything you just said right there. Sorry, I'm actually going back through some of the other songs in the soundtrack just to find the lyrics here. So we mentioned about the Juicy Fruits. Juicy Fruits had a song in the very beginning. So I'm just gonna read for our audience here just the opening lyrics to these. All right, and you can tell me if this made sense to you. We'll remember you forever, Eddie. Through sacrifice you made, we can't believe the price you paid for love. Little Eddie Mitty, born in Jersey City, started singing when he was 5. Never knew his father. Mother didn't bother to catch his last name, fast as he came. He was often flying, times were really trying, Eddie's mother alone. Soon another mister, soon a baby sister. Mama kept swinging, and Eddie kept singing, ah yeah 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 yeah, for love, for love. And yeah, and then the other lyrics kind of go into his sister. And I feel like the Juicy Fruits were singing a completely different song about a different character. Because most times, the opening song of a musical is supposed to maybe set up a theme to it, or like characters, or the plot storyline in a way. This one, not so much.
Yeah, it was the grenadine chaser before your tequila shot. It was like, what is that? That has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of... folks, if you've never seen Phantom of the Paradise, you cannot understand what it is like to try to, like, review something like this until you actually see it. And I know this is an audio podcast form, and we are doing our best. Big shout out and thank you here to both Naomi, Lydia, Jen, Shocked Applaud. Please follow them on Twitter at Shocked Applaud. Yes, please do so. I figured I am not doing this movie any justice of me trying to explain it. Do recommend our listeners go back and listen to the Shocked Applaud podcast talking about Phantom of the Paradise. I'm going to post links on our website so you can actually hear that episode, and also check out their other episodes too. But we're getting about to like an hour now talking about Phantom of the Paradise, and I've run out of things to say about this movie. Talked about our most wild what the fuck moments of Phantom of the Paradise. Talked about the cast members. Talked about the songs. Talked about Brian DePalma's direction. So I'm gonna start with you, Naomi. Give your last kind of final thoughts about Phantom of the Paradise, and not 3 words, but 6 words. 6 words.
Do you give me 6 words?
6 words.
I'm gonna have to count these out on my finger. Oh, okay, hold on. Give me a second to think it out.
Okay.
6. Oh, okay. Okay, 6 words plus a punctuation, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay. My 6 words are, okay, but you should watch it? Question mark. How's that?
Beautiful.
Because, okay, I will elaborate just a little bit. I know you only gave me 6,
Beautiful.
and that was wise of you, Vern. That was wise.
Okay.
But once upon a time, way back in like the mid-90s, my sister, as a bedtime story, told me the plot of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I did not believe that it was a thing that happened. I thought she'd made it up. Like, she was like, yes, there's a mad scientist, and there's a rock and roll guy with a motorcycle, and they ate him. And I was like, right? Because out of context, if you hear about this film, it makes no sense whatsoever. Not unlike Rocky Horror Picture Show.
True.
But if you were to watch it and then listen to us rant about it, it makes perfect sense. It really does. And I can't explain it better than that. Don't count my words, Lydia. I see you counting on your fingers, and that was way more, and I'm sorry, but thank you.
Naomi, that was perfect. That was perfect. The 6 words right there was great. Lydia, I want you to describe Phantom of the Paradise, but I want you to kind of describe the movie as you would be describing it for, like, a children's show. Like, you're presenting this movie for a bunch of, like, kids. Like, just really quickly tell them about this movie as, like, your kid show host.
I'm supposed to do this quickly?
Lydia. Miss Lydia, tell me about a movie I should watch. What movie should I watch, Miss Lydia?
You should watch Phantom of the Paradise. It has everything. Paul Williams trying to be sexy.
Ooh.
Bad 70s music. It has a future Disney princess by the name of
Disney
Bee.
princess.
And they tear him apart at the end.
Yay!
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Go, Lydia. Good job.
Thank you.
Now, Jen, describe Phantom of the Paradise as like a hard-hitting documentary. Like a
Do a voice too. Do like a documentary guy voice.
like a very like gosh, I can't think of the guy who's famous for doing all those documentaries, and it's like
David Attenborough for the Vern. It's David Attenborough.
David Attenborough. Okay, yeah, do something like that, or even like Jacques Cousteau. Like you're diving into deep mystery there. Yeah, either one of those.
This movie has just about nothing that you could ever want in a movie. It is also a story about people that you will never find interesting. But somehow, in the end, people really fuck things up.
All right, I'm going to give you the word here, Jen. That was awesome. Those are all good. Fucking brilliant. Well, thank you, because this is going to make our whole new season of Cinema Recall here. So I'm going to actually start doing that from now on. Just describe movies in different voices in different ways. So thank you. I wanted to test shit out, and you came through nonstop. You brought your A game, your action talent. Yeah, brilliant job, everyone involved here. So that's going to kind of wrap up our episode about Phantom of the Paradise. Big shout out here to Naomi and Lydia and Jen from Shocked Applaud. I apologize immensely, Lydia, for fucking up your name throughout the process of the show. I do that sometimes, and I apologize. And
Not a problem.
Naomi, I apologize if I didn't fuck up your name enough. I should.
I wish you would. My name is Norman.
Nori. Oh, Nomi. Did you think about Nomi and Naomi? I gotta look back at your back catalog here. Have you done a big dive into showgirls?
Oh God. We should, but like an NC-17, and I'm gonna have to be like, so he's banging her backwards in a waterfall, and I'm like, how the fuck do you breathe? It sounds like a really hard conversation to have.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
But you know what? Maybe. That movie's got some points.
It could be a special Patreon episode. I don't know. But
Yes! Oh my God! Jen, write that down.
Vern on for.
Vern? Hey, the Vern?
Yay, the what? Yes.
Do you want to do Showgirls with us for a Patreon episode?
Yes, I would.
Write that down.
We'll make notes.
All right. Very cool. Well, tell the listeners out there about all the places you can find Shocked Applaud.
We mostly frequent Twitter, so you can reach us there at Shocked Applaud. You can also find us on Facebook at Shocked and Applaud. You can also check out our Patreon if you want to support us as well. It's patreon.com/Shocked and Applaud.
If you want to talk at us, feel free to email us at shockedapplaud@gmail.com.
We'll send you notifications on Instagram, too. It's the same handle as Twitter, Shocked Applaud.
Love it. Love it. Yes, definitely check out their shows, check out their past episodes. They are really funny and really intelligent. They're like a double combination of like smarts and sexiness and brains. Yeah, it's just freaking just a great package there. Love them dearly. Thank you very much for being on the show. As for Cinema Recall, we are continuing our episodes about Brian DePalma. Not quite sure exactly what's coming next because I'm recording all these shows out of order, so I'm not really quite sure what I'm editing next, but be on the lookout for our next show talking about a different Brian DePalma feature. If you ever want to know what's going to be on in this episode, visit us on Twitter at cinema_recall, Facebook and Instagram at Cinema Recall Pod, and email us ad spots, suggestions, packets of macaroni. If you want to mail us out like beef, magazines about beef, do that. That's fine. Stuff about Winslow or Jessica Harper, do that. Our email is cinemarecall@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to check out the Force a Crowd podcast. I do some audio editing work on there. So come check that out if you want to know what else I'm doing besides Cinema Recall. I do editing work for the Force a Crowd podcast. So definitely check that out. And that's going to be it for right now. And I will see you cats all another time.
Caught up in your wheeling and dealing, you've got no time left for simple feeling. I thought I knew you, but I didn't know you at all. Trapped inside your world of worry, you miss so much when you always hurry. Oh, slow down, baby, you'll only get hurt if you fall. Well, you told me one time that you'd be somebody, that you weren't working just to survive, but you're working so hard that you don't even know you're alive. Working so hard to be somebody special, not working just to survive. Well, you're special to me, babe, and what I don't see, babe, is where you go once you arrive. Where we go once we arrive.
Vern, it's been an absolute pleasure, I gotta say.
Well, thank you. That has been lots of fun there. Yes. I did my best to try to take notes on the movie again the other time there, but then when I started watching the movie, I started taking notes down, and then I just ended up just watching it, and my notes get to be kind of scrambled around there and certain stuff, but I did cover everything I wanted to cover. Talked about the bad songs that she has in bed, and you three just brought up a bunch of different facts and made the show a lot of fun. Yes. And also, I'm kind of feel kind of floored now because I just got done doing a big editing project, and so my mind has just been kind of on that a little bit too. So, but yeah. But
This was great.
Thank you both for being on the show. Sorry, I tend to talk a little bit too much there. But if you ever want me on your Short Girls episode, I would love that.
Yes, definitely.
It sounds amazing. Oh, we don't know how far out that is, but it is now officially on the docket.
It's on the docket right there. All right, cool.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.